I think, obviously, as they told me in the media, if you win a home game right now, it's a really good thing, and I think you have to try to win as many as you can at home because the league is obviously going to be very difficult as we've already witnessed, and I'm proud of how we played, in particular, just after the disappointment of the West Virginia loss. You have to be able to have a short memory and get to the next game and get to the prep or whatever you need to adjust. You have to move very quickly, mentally, physically, everything. As I said again in the media, I mean, they asked me about what's next, and I'm like, yeah, it's Kansas State, and this is over, and that'll be a completely different game, and our prep has to be just as good, and our intention has to be just as good, and I thought we played with a lot of intention tonight.
Questions? So how big was it for you guys to, after the West Virginia loss, kind of have this game where it wasn't close, you guys were able to kind of put together a complete four-quarter game and just bounce back from that West Virginia?
It was very important. Like Coach said, we have to string along as many home games as we can. We have to win as many home games as we can in this league. And I thought it was very important for us to come out today the way that we did because, I mean, we all felt like it was the end of the world after we lost to West Virginia. But it was my job to bring the team together and make sure that they knew that we had another game and that it was one game at a time in this league. And you have to understand that everybody in this league is good, so we just have to stay connected and as a team and just take it one game at a time.
Karen, and your big girls are playing like that. That makes it so much easier for everyone else. And it seems like they've been taking turns, like Charlie have a big game and then Jordan have a big game, but this is one of those rare ones where they both dominated at the same time.
Well, I think that they did definitely asserted themselves for sure, and I don't want to discount how they played at all. But I think that what makes our team more complete is that if everybody shares and we don't just depend on those two. I think that's what opens it up for them. If we feel like all we can do is throw the ball inside and they have to do it for us, then I think that puts extra pressure on them, and it doesn't even open anything up for them. So I think really the difference in when we're playing well and when we're not is when we share and everybody gets involved, and there's some, I guess, like the intentional word is important for me today because I thought our guards played with intention to score. And as that goes along, then it starts to flow and the people take the right shots. And if they get the shots, then that's great. But just taking the right shot and making an extra pass is really important. As you see in the assists, I mean, we had very few at West Virginia just because the ball kept getting stuck. I mean, they had something to do with it, but still, I mean, you have to be able to reverse and move and make the right decision offensively, and I thought we did that tonight.
Charlie, their big's the only player in the country averaging 15, 10, and 5 blocks.
Yeah.
You guys really took it to her. Was that a point of emphasis to be aggressive against someone that's playing that well this season?
Yeah, I mean, Brewer's an amazing player. I'm blessed enough to play against someone of her caliber. I mean, she's a draft pick. So, I mean, her being a senior and me being a sophomore, I can pick up a lot of things from her. And tonight, I thought she played well. We competed a lot against each other. She scored, I scored. She blocked my shot, blocked hers. It was just a good matchup. And, yeah, we just took it to her. She took it to us. And our guards went after their guards. So it was just a competitive game.
When you look at the final box score and you see you and Joyner obviously had a really good first half with your guards, you really stepped it up in that third quarter. Overall, what does that say about your team? You guys got that balance tonight and everyone chipped into that?
Yeah, it just shows if we can play hard for all 4 quarters, we can be really good. If we just continue to play defense on all possessions and execute on offense like how we did tonight, then we could be a really good team.
Terrence Joyner's 100th career game. We know she didn't start. What went into that decision?
I think that it's taken some time for me to first of all, just realize that the young guys are moving along. And we're getting to a point right now where it's pretty critical that we show up every game. And we show up every day in practice so that we're ready to play in the games. And I think that it might help our team a little bit if we just try to find the lineup that we think is going to start the game well. And some of that might be based on how they practiced and how they prepared. And I said this on the radio out there. I don't know that it necessarily matters who's starting. I mean, she played tonight and played great. LaShawn hasn't been starting and has had huge games for us. So I don't think starting is the big deal. It's really how are we approaching the game and who's ready to play and what lineup do we think can get us off to a good start, and that may change more than what it has been. Nothing really more than that.
When Tech went up by 4 in the first quarter, what was the message during your timeout? If you were the one giving the message, one of your seniors, or someone speaking up, what was kind of the message during that?
I think one thing that's really helpful is our staff has gotten very distinct about what they're helping our players with, and so they're doing a really great job of getting in the huddles and giving them, whether it be Jamie giving the offensive information, Terry's giving the post players a little bit, or our matchups, and so I think we're getting much better. That's a terrible word. We're getting better information in the huddles that help them move forward. I mean, that's what this is about. We got to help them. And one thing that I reminded them of was just, it wasn't even necessarily in the timeout, but we took the lead, they called timeout, and then we kind of relaxed a little bit. And I think they just have to understand that there is no relaxing. I mean, you have to play as hard as you can play. If you get too tired to play hard, then you need to raise your hand and let somebody else come in. But there's just not going to be any more relaxing the rest of the year. I mean, everybody's trying to win. And so, I mean, for us, the reason why we won by a margin is because I thought that was the only really period of time that we did that.
The win felt comprehensive in scope. It felt like you guys played as well as you have in a while. Tennessee, maybe. How do you bottle that up and market it and just keep winning like that? That look, y'all at times you made it look easy in the second half.
I mean, if I had to answer, we wouldn't have the games that we've had. And I'll continue to try to find that answer, because if we can find it together, whether it be the coaches or the players or all of us together, then I think that we're a special team. But we just, I can make up something for you, but I don't know that I know the answer to that right now.
Go ahead, I'll print it. Sugar's a leader, senior leader. How important was it for you guys to go through those struggles early in the season and even to come back from the West Virginia game? You said it was the end of the world. You still woke up the next day.
Yeah. I mean, it's important. You gonna win some, you gonna lose some. Just continue to believe in each other and taking it one day at a time. I think that's what's gotten us through the losses that we've had. We've stuck together. We've stayed connected as a team, even though we've had our bad days. So I think that's one thing about this team. We take it one day at a time, even though we've had bad losses. And then the West Virginia game, we had a bad loss, but we woke up the next morning. We went straight to work. We came right to practice. We huddled up as a team and just said we just need to get it done and keep moving forward. So I just think that's a really special thing about this team. We just keep moving forward. We're there for each other at all times.